welcome to a very special, spooky episode of Hella Moted, coming at you on this Halloween day. What's up, everybody? I'm here.
Hi.
We just recorded the podcast with David.
What up? I'm back.
He decided to stick around and do this special scary episode with us.
Yo.
And I'm also here with my girlfriend Evita.
Hi, guys.
What's up, Beb? So right now we're in the podcast studio, and we got the lights turned off. All we see is the computer lights, and we're listening to this scary ass freaking music in the background right now. I mean, I wanted to do this episode. It's Halloween, you know, and I feel like people aren't super duper into the Halloween spirit as like they were before.
That's for sure.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna turn this freaking scary music
as a
off
kid, there's like trick-or-treating and stuff. So you're like super juiced because that's like one of the only things you do on Halloween as a kid.
Yeah.
Trick-or-treating. Dude,
nobody like really decorates their houses anymore either.
Yeah. Or like a couple blocks, I guess.
on the block on my house, there used to be kids up and down the street. Like every Halloween, it was lit. It was like Halloween Town lit.
Oh shit.
Like when you see, you know, those kids in the movies, it was like that. Everybody was walking through our neighborhood. All the kids had costumes. All the parents were there. Hella lights, all flashlights. Street lights were like lit. It was really fun.
Was that
and
the
there was like
known
a lot of
block?
spirit. Huh?
Was that the known block? Because I know back in my hometown, like in Millbury, there was this one block where all the houses were decorated and whatnot. It was like that one block. You know what I'm talking about?
We weren't like that decorated block,
Like
but the trick-or-treater wise, it was like everybody out at the
Okay.
same time. And so all of it was like hella lit. But then the year that September 11th happened, nobody. It was like a ghost zone.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
And it hasn't like really built up since then. Like I know like me and Evita would wait for trick-or-treaters, and there would only be like 2 every year.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And I don't know if it was like because everyone grew up on the block, or if there's just like no trick-or-treaters. And I think it's kind of like there's no trick-or-treaters because
Yeah.
we've been to like Disneyland before, Mickey's Halloween party.
Yeah.
And all the kids were dressed up there. I think like that's the place to go to if you have a kid and you want to go trick-or-treating and you want to give them the experience. Those Disneyland parties are like hella cool. Everybody's dressed up. All the
Everybody's
parents are dressed up.
Oh shit.
It's hella
There's
fun.
no lines.
Yeah. The lines are like hella cool.
Yeah.
And then there's lines to go like trick-or-treating. We got hella candy. I didn't expect to get as much candy as we got, but you could like hit up all the candy spots.
There are hella
multiple
good
times,
candies,
too.
Wait,
Yeah.
in Disneyland?
Yeah, in Disneyland.
There was like stops for like
Yeah, they have stations, like
oh,
trick-or-treating
shit.
stations.
It's hella cool.
That's mania. I haven't only been to Disneyland like once before or twice.
Really?
What?
Yeah, I mean once as like a really like an adult. Once as a kid and then like once as an adult. So I haven't get to experience like the other themes they have.
We damn near Disneyland masters over
Yeah.
here. You talking to
We
a
go
fucking
every
Disney
year.
king and queen right here.
Especially during Halloween, but we're not going this year, obviously.
You
Yeah.
guys go like the past couple years?
For usually we go because our what's it called? Our anniversary is in October, so we usually like to go somewhere, and we like to go to Disneyland around that time too,
Mhm.
celebrate our anniversary. And so I just want to get like that spirit back. You know what I mean?
I feel it.
What you think about Halloween?
Shit, it's definitely not the same as anymore. It's just a bunch of turning up, another day to get, you know?
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I got dressed up for Halloween. I don't know. I know in high school and whatnot, I would get dressed up, even middle school. So like, definitely it's not the same as before. But it's still,
I think I feel like kids are too cool for that
That's
shit
what
now.
I'm saying, yeah.
You know?
Like, they don't have the spirit anymore.
They
Yeah.
too cool for it.
Dude,
But
that's hella
there's
tight.
there's the kids that dress up as fucking clowns and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, in
Yeah.
San Jose, did you hear about that?
Nah, but that's freaking crazy.
That's
What?
hella scary.
Wait,
the
what
clowns.
happened?
The clowns.
In San
Oh,
Jose
they
too.
they
Oh,
made it in
it's
San Jose?
they found one in San Jose.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, who are those people behind the mask though? Like, those are like regular
Kids.
people and workers
probably.
and shit.
I have no idea.
I wonder when like clowns became the consensus scary thing.
It's just creepy.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what's also creepy? Like circus music in general.
I think
It's
circus
creepy.
in general is
Like
like creepy. Yeah.
that shit is scary.
I don't
Like
think-
even as we're sitting in this dark ass room right now, just me saying dun, 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 doesn't that kind of sound scary?
yeah.
All right, so I want to scare you guys a little bit. I don't really have too many scary stories myself, but I Googled some scary stories, and I haven't read these yet, so hopefully they're good.
Okay.
But they're from this blog, and it's the top 10 scary stories that were submitted into this blog. So this story is The Little Girl Who Wasn't, from Lady Sparrow. I lived in a house from hell for 4 years. From age 11 to almost 16. There was constantly something happening. Doors flying open and shut. Voices. Footsteps. Nothing ever stayed where you put it. I was alone there a lot because both my parents worked and I was constantly terrified. One of the most gut-level disturbing things, though, was the little girl in my bathroom. Every time I walked past my bathroom door, which was constantly since it was right outside my bedroom, I saw a little girl with blonde curled hair and a rose-colored dress. She just stood there, staring. Are you getting scared, Beth?
I'm all looking outside the window. Like,
she just stood there, staring, looking like a photograph from 1905. I started keeping the door closed so I could walk by without seeing her, but she was always there when I opened it. Once I stepped in past her, I couldn't see her anymore, but I could feel her there. She scared me, but I felt really sorry for her because she was trapped there just like me, but probably forever. As the years went by and things in the house continued to get worse, she started seeming darker. I started feeling like she wasn't really a little girl. I knew there was something ugly in the house, and I felt it was presenting this sympathetic image to me. Then I started thinking I was completely losing my mind. One day when I was 14, I had a friend from out the town come stay with me for a week. I hadn't told her anything whatsoever but the house because I didn't think she would come if I did. Right after she got there, we were sitting in my room and she left to go to the bathroom. About a minute later, she walked back in with a puzzled look on her face and said, "So, there's this little girl in your bathroom." Yeah, she hangs out in there. Blonde hair, curls, pink dress. Yeah, you know, that's not really a little girl, don't you? I almost threw up. I was so relieved and terrified and excited and ready to run out of the house screaming. She wouldn't use my bathroom the rest of the week, and I started using it as little possible without pissing off my parents, who did not want to believe. Eventually we moved out and I could not have been happier. I distanced myself from it mentally as much as I could. Then, when I was 18, I took another friend on a road trip to pack a few things I'd left in the house. My parents hadn't managed to sell it and wouldn't for 5 more years. You getting scared? The minute we got on the property, my friend seemed uncomfortable. When we came around the bend in a long, steep driveway, he went completely white. I could tell something was wrong, but he insisted he was okay. So we got to work. After a while, he asked to use the bathroom and I directed him to mine. Not 20 seconds after he left, he came running back in, gasping for breath, and slammed the bedroom door behind him. He started babbling about a little blonde girl who isn't really a little girl. All of a sudden, he went dead still, looked me in the eye, and very solemnly said, "She's not happy with you. You left and you weren't supposed to." We threw whatever we could grab in two trips, my bad, I'm fucking up, in my car. After I walked him to another bathroom and waited outside the door, and he got the fuck out at top speed. Okay, so that was the story. I thought
Wait, I don't get how they're saying there's a little girl, but she's not really a little girl. What does that mean?
I don't know.
She's an old lady that looks like a little girl.
I don't know. Maybe that's just some good writing to help you think.
Can you guys even imagine seeing a ghost though? Like, I wouldn't even know like what I would do. I would just like stand there like frozen.
Yeah.
Because in scary movies, they write them to be like stupid.
When you're scared, you literally can't move. Like you're just frozen. Like you can't move because you're so scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When's the last time you felt like that? Like really
Like,
never.
serious?
Like never.
Or just like in general, maybe like, I don't know, in any situation, not like just like just scared.
I think that's why they say like sleep paralysis is like so scary.
I always get it when I'm hella tired, or I don't know if I'm hella tired and I just can't move.
I think that's probably it.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Your mind's awake, but you're just like, I don't want to get up right
yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think I've ever had like, I've always been in control of my body when I'm consciously awake. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like if I would never have sleep paralysis, but
Yeah.
that does sound scary as fuck.
It's hella scary.
Hey, you did a good ass job narrating that story. Though.
I know.
I
I
was
was all getting scared.
I had to set the mood. I hope
I was
people
like-
got scared like in their cars or whoever's listening to this.
It was hella funny when you said that something about look at me in the eyes. That line. For some reason, I was looking at that Bart over there, and I was like, oh shit, that shit looking at me. The little Bart statue next to
Dude,
TV. I was like,
because I got a Bart Simpson telephone. And he
I happened to be looking at it, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Dude, everything in the dark is like scarier.
Yeah, it is.
I hate scary movies, by the way. I'm
not a fan either, but
I love scary movies.
you know what it is? I don't like being like jumped. Like I don't like
It's
being
fun.
jumpy.
It's fun though.
You know what I mean? Like all that anticipation, all that build up.
What about-
That's the
just
best
like, boom.
part. That's the best part.
So you don't fuck with the thrillers either? Like
No, I
thriller
like-
type movies?
I like thrillers and I like shit, but a lot of scary movies, first off, they're not really good stories or movies in general. So that kind of deters me from it. In middle school, every Friday we would go see a movie, right? And I would save up my money because I know on Friday we're going to go watch a movie. Like that was like our reward at the end of the week or whatever. So we would always pick a new movie, obviously. And sometimes it's just your friends want to go see scary movies. I fucking hate scary movies. So that's the only way that I seen like some of the scary movies I seen.
If you have to go.
Yeah, because
feel
like
it.
it's like, oh fuck.
Not
I remember there was what was that movie about the Tooth Fairy?
Oh, Darkness Falls. I
Yeah,
hate
Darkness
that one,
Falls.
I didn't watch
Dude. I
that
got
one.
hella nightmares.
Is
I
that
didn't
one with
even
a
watch.
clown?
That was one that I skipped out on. Like they're like, hey, we're gonna go watch Darkness Falls. You want to go? Like, I think I got some
It's
homework
hella
to do
scary.
on
I
a
think
Friday.
that's why I'm hella scared of the dark because of that fucking movie.
You know what was on TV earlier? Cujo. I remember
Cujo?
if you listen to the Calais episode, Calais was talking about Cujo.
What's Cujo? That
It's
movie?
the rabid dog. It's like a Saint Bernard, and he got rabies from being bit by this bat,
Right.
and then he's just like out there murking people.
I
That
di-
like is a real life scary thing though. Imagine a fucking Saint Bernard who's like rabid and just like fucking wants to bite whatever
everyone.
and just like be aggressive. That is like real life scary. See, that's the type of shit that I'm scared of. I'm scared of like if someone has a gun, if someone is like if someone's like just crazy, like mentally just crazy, I wouldn't want to be like in the same room. There's got to be psychopaths just like walking through the street.
Hell
Like
yeah.
you probably, if you take a fucking bus or take BART or something, you probably see somebody who's killed somebody or thought about killing somebody or like has the tendency to do so in the future. Like something in them that would make them like be able to do like terrible things. It's a scary world.
Yeah.
Like that's the
Definitely
real
is
scary
scary.
thing to
You
me.
can see anything on Bart. You always got to be prepared.
Yeah.
You want to hear another story? You want to keep going with these stories or what?
Sure.
I want to get like a good ass one where like we get freaked out, where we want to stop. Let's go until we stop. All right, here's another story. This is photographic memories from Annie Bananas.
What?
It's like these people who've been sending in scary stories to this blog. It's on Jezebel.com because I just searched like scary stories.
Mm.
I grew up in New Mexico and I was always very into the outdoors, hiking, camping, rock climbing, etc. One summer, when I was 19, I went on a 4-day, 3-night camping trip near my parents' house on my own. Might sound weird, but I had been to this area many times and it was quite safe. Anyway, I brought my camera and took lots of pictures. When I came back and developed my film, there were 3 extra pictures that
Oh hell no.
I didn't take of Me.
Oh, hell
Sleeping.
no. Fuck
One
that
each
shit.
night. None of my stuff was missing or stolen and nothing happened, but it freaked the hell out of me. Okay, that was the story.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
hell. It was just by himself?
Yeah.
He's like camping?
He's camping by himself, and he
At
has
his parents' house, or what was it? Where was he at?
he was camping like by his parents' house.
Oh, by his parents' house.
You want to hear another one? That was a short one. All right, I'm gonna just read off the titles, and let's see which one you want to hear. Losing Yourself in China, so that's one. What the Dog Knew. That's another.
I already know that one's going to be scary.
What the Dog Knew.
Probably like seeing some shit that you can't see.
Yeah.
There's Something on the Stairs.
Oh, hell no. That one sounds scary too.
The Drive-By. That sounds like a straight out of Compton. The Haunted Strip Club.
That would be tight. That one of the
damn,
dogs.
the Haunted Strip Club is a long ass. I'm scrolling all the way down this thing. From the Mouths of Babes. The Wrong Parents. Ooh, that sounds fucking scary. The True Lesson Truck. I don't even know if I said that right. Okay, so those are the ones. Which one do you want to hear?
The dog one.
The dog one?
Or the strip club one. But the dog one first. Or
Yeah, let's do the dog one. What the Dog Knew from Aeon Flux 072. These are all their like fucking screen names and shit. How am I supposed to be scared off a name like that? In my old apartment, my dog would, on occasion, look down the hallway towards the bedroom. That sounds scary as fuck already. From the living room and growl for no apparent reason. Also on occasion, when I was sleeping in the bedroom, she slept at the foot of the bed. I would wake up with her staring intently at the door and growling. She was a big girl, 140 pounds of a Great Dane, Catahoula and a slobber. I don't know what fucking dog that is, Catahoula. So I'm there for a couple of years of this, thinking, okay, my dog has a good imagination. Wrong. One night, I woke up due not to my dog growling, but barking for all she was worth. And not at the door. She was barking straight at me. I opened my eyes pretty much immediately, and there was a blur of light leaning over me very close. Certainly less than 6 inches from my face. It was not distinguishable as a person. It was more resembled a person-sized version of a colorful nebula you might see a picture of in a science fiction magazine. 3-dimensional and all. I immediately got the distinct impression that this thing had been watching me sleep for God knows how long and how many times before. For all the clarity of that distinct feeling, I had no sense what it wanted, whether it was a malevolent or just curious. I flipped right the fuck out, jumped backwards to the other side of the bed, too terrified to scream, and a blur of light receded and disappeared over the course of about 3 seconds. My dog was going absolutely ape. So, shortly thereafter, I asked the building manager if anybody had ever died there. She investigated that and came back to me a couple of weeks later with a yes. A woman had died of a drug overdose in that apartment in 1995, so 12 years earlier, shortly after having her child removed from her custody because of her addiction problems. My dog still growls at the hallway from time to time, but I never saw it again. I moved out and about a year later. I've had other encounters, but this thing was literally inches from my face, watching me sleep. Getting the shivers just writing about this now. That one wasn't as like well written, but
is that like real life stories though?
I don't think
I guess
so.
Well,
I mean
'cause like
these people are claiming for it to be true.
Really?
We want to read Ghost Bro?
No, you read it.
I mean, like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
My house was built in 1904. Already a bad sign. It's a single family home, wood frame setting on a concrete block foundation. I have been living there for about 12 years. Of all the weird things that my siblings and me have seen or heard in this house, this one event is my favorite. This happened to my brother about 10 years ago. My brother and his best friend started a garage band playing mostly Spanish rock, alternative music but in Spanish. His friends could only get together on Sunday afternoons. They would practice into the early evening, and they would usually call it quits by 8 p.m. This was the time I usually showed up and went to bed because I worked through the graveyard shift. This happened in late fall, so the days were getting shorter. They had just finished a long session when the decision to head to someone else's house came about. My brother handed his car keys to his buddy so they could load up the equipment. Everyone had filed out of the basement, but the tricky part was that they needed to walk all the way to the back of the basement, up the back stairs, through the kitchen doorway, down the hall into the living room, and out into the front porch. Everyone was sitting in my brother's truck waiting for him. My brother was walking up the back stairs when he remembered that he had left his pancakes in a to-go container sitting on a speaker in the basement. He made the decision to go back. Now the basement is not clean, with full sight lines. There had been partitions made, and the boiler of the main heating unit are right smack in the middle. So after my brother walks back, he is about to retrieve his food container when out the corner of his eye, he sees it. It's a shadowy figure, right at the peripheral vision. This feeling of dread and uneasiness washed over my brother. We had been taught that if you were in the presence of a spirit or a ghost and you felt a bad vibe, to say quick prayer or to cuss at it. My brother chose the latter. He basically told it, "Hey, fuck you. I don't have time for this shit." My brother started to walk to the back of the basement and briskly up the stairs, closing the doors and turning off lights as he was walking out. The last light switch is on the opposite side of the front door. Luckily, the door was open and the light from the street lamp was flooding in the living room with its amber light. My brother said he felt something at his back, but at no point did he turn around. As he flicked the last switch of the living room went dark, as did the rest of the house, and he stepped out and pulled the door, closing it behind him, still holding his food container in one hand, and he jogged down with a few porch steps. He walked towards the front gate. Our house resides far from the main street, essentially having a large front yard but no rear garage, and he closed the gap between himself and his friend-laden truck. He kind of smiled and thought things over in his head, mad at himself for spooking out when there was no reason. He climbed into the driver's side of the truck, putting on his seatbelt and getting ready to pull out of the parking spot directly in front of the house, when one of his friends asked, "Hey, wait, what about your brother? Isn't he coming with us?" My brother answered, "What do you mean? He went to work early tonight. He's already gone. Did you see his car anywhere?" The next question they asked, "So then, who was walking behind you when you were leaving the house?"
I got goosebumps.
This has been a very fun ghost episode, guys. Thank you guys for doing this.
For sure.
You're
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Hella Moted. What number is this? Episode
15.
number 15. Shit. Have a good Halloween, everybody. Everybody stay safe out there. Don't eat too much candy. Don't say hello to clowns. Make sure you give good candy out for the little trick-or-treaters that we have. We need some more Halloween spirit. You know, October is the best. Fucking Halloween is the best. I'm sad that this month has to be over, but I'm happy that we get to celebrate it with you and keep listening to us. Thank you everybody who's been rating and reviewing and subscribing on iTunes. Keep doing it. If you like these special spooky episodes and special theme episodes, let me know. This was an experiment, and I think it was a fun experiment so far. So if you guys want to hear more of those themed episodes, you can send me an email, put a comment up, whatever. It's lit. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week. Yee!